Okay, you would learn that two variables, x and y, show direct variation if y equals a times x. That's going to be important to understand. Okay? That's something you already know. For some non-zero constant a. Okay, so in other words, a can be any number except for the number 0, right? All right. You also know this as proportional. Another type of variation is called inverse variation. That's what you're now learning about. Two variables, x and y, show inverse variation if they were related as follows. Y equals a over x. It's got to be in that form. And a can be any number except for the number 0. Okay, the constant a is the constant of variation. And y is said to vary inversely with x. Now that's also important. You're going to need to know these words. Y is said to vary inversely with x. When you see that, you need to write down that equation. Okay, you're going to see why in a second. Okay, you got to make sure you understand that. Okay, so all good so far. Any questions so far? All right, so look at this first part. Okay, example 1. Tell whether x and y show direct variation, inverse variation, or neither. Okay, so look at A. Would that be direct, inverse, or neither? Well, how could you find out? You know the answer to this. How could you find out if that's direct, inverse, or neither? All right, now let me show you. It's simple as can be. What you want to do is look, get the y by itself. Get the y by itself. What would you do to get the y by itself? Divide by x, exactly. Divide by x, okay, and divide by x. Okay. All right, so when I divide by x, the two x's cancel, what do I get? Y equals what? Y equals 7 over x, right? Okay, now look at the forms up here. Look at the forms. Which form is that? Is that the direct or is that the inverse form? That's the inverse, right? So there's your answer. The answer is, this is inverse variation right there. There it is. That's how easy this is. Just get the y by itself and then look at it and say, okay, is that direct or inverse? Oh, well, look, that's inverse. Y equals a over x, okay? Okay, look at B. Look at B. Okay, is the y by itself? Yes, okay, all right, so now you tell me, is that direct or inverse? It's neither. Very good. It's neither because take a look at this. These two forms, right? Do you see any plus symbols there? No, exactly. That is a plus on it, right? Okay, so that's a neither. Very good. That's neither. It's neither direct nor inverse. In fact, you guys know what that is. That's called linear, right? That's a linear. Okay, now look at C. Y equals, well, I'm sorry, y over 4 equals x. Okay, now you get y by itself. What would you do? Multiply both sides by 4. You see, you guys all know this. It's simple as can be. Multiply both sides by 4. Okay, so you're going to get what? Y equals 4x. That's right. Y equals 4x. Okay, everybody good? All right, so is that direct or inverse? That's direct. Very good. That's direct variation. Very good. You got it. Okay, so it says to you this, example 2. The variables x and y vary inversely. Now remember, I showed you that. What that means. Okay, and y is 7 when x is 4. Write an equation that relates x and y, and then find y when x is negative 2. Okay, so the first thing you've got to do is write down which one, the inverse or the direct equation? The inverse, which is y equals what? And y equals a over x. There you go. There's the form, right? So put the standard form down, y equals a over x. Okay? All right, now, look what it tells you. Y is 7 when x is, so you're going to take 7 and put it in 4, and 4 and put it in 4. You got it. That's what you're going to do. Put 7 in for y and 4 in for x. You got it, just like that. Okay, now you got to solve for a. So what would you do to get a by itself? Multiply both sides by 4. It's like this. It's like real baby math. It's like, oh my gosh, I can do this math. Okay, so how much will a equal? 28. Yeah, sure. A will equal 28. Look at there. That's easy as can be. Okay, now is that the answer? No, not yet. We're not at the answer yet. We're getting there. Okay, so now what are you going to do? You're going to take the 28 and what? And go put it in for the A into the original form, right? So you're going to write down what? Y equals 28 over X. There you go, like that. Good, you guys got it. Okay, and now you can solve the problem. So you want to find Y when X is -2. So what are you going to do? Take -2 and do what? Put it in for X, substitute it in for X. Right, take -2, substitute it in for X. There we go. Looky there. And so how much will Y equal then? -14. You got it. Oh my gosh, that was just so difficult. There it is. That's how you do it. Okay, so now what you're going to do is we're going to see and check it for inverse variation. So it says the general equation Y equals A over X for inverse variation can be rewritten as A equals X times Y, or XY equals A. This tells you that a set of data points, XY, shows inverse variation if the products XY are constant or approximately constant. Likewise, a set of data points shows direct variation if the quotient X divided by Y are constant or approximately constant. Okay, the table compares, this is example 3, the table compares the area A in square millimeters of a computer chip with the number C of chips that can be obtained from a silicone wafer. All right, so now here comes the first thing. The first thing is you got to determine, is this inverse or direct variation? All right, now, the thing is you have no idea. If I look at this, I wouldn't know either. I go like, you got me, you don't know what to do. Okay, so here's what you got to do now. What you're going to do is you're going to take 58 and multiply it by 448. Take 62 and multiply it by 424. Take 66 by 392, 70 by 376. And what you need to do is write those numbers on the bottom of this table, down here at the bottom. So go do that for a second. Okay, all right, so here we go. So when you did this, and you multiplied 58 times 448, did you get 25,984? Okay, and you got 26,288, and you got 25872 and 26320, right? All right, so everybody's good so far. Okay, now we're doing the other thing, which is to divide. Okay, so now we're going to take X, 58, divided by Y, 448, and write those on the top of this, up here. Write those on the top of this. And I think what we did first is we rounded it to 3 decimal places. We don't have to get an exact answer. It's an approximation. So go do that. Take the top number divided by the bottom number, X divided by Y, and write those at the top. Is right, okay? But once again, this is kind of a challenging problem. So here's the thing, what you just figured out then is this. If I multiply and always get about the same number, what kind of variation is it? Inverse, beautiful, inverse. Right on the bottom, they give C as a function of A. So here's what you're going to write down. First of all, okay, so here's what you're going to write down. Okay, C equals, okay, now what's the number you're going to put on the top? 26,000, okay. And what's the number? What's on the bottom? A. Right? There's the formula you're going to use. Like I said, that was a little bit challenging. They throw it at you so early. Okay, so now what does it say? Predict the number of chips per wafer. Okay, when the area of the chip is 81 square millimeters. Okay, so what are you going to do now? There you go. You got to make 81 A, right? Or make A 81, right? Is what you're going to do. That's exactly right. So you're going to put 26,000 over 81. Now go stick that in your calculator and round it a little bit. I think we're rounding it to the whole number. And you get about how much? 321. You got it. There's the answer to the problem. Okay, it's approximately 321. Is the answer. So that's how you do that. Okay, now like I said, don't forget it. That's a little bit challenging. Okay, determine whether X and Y show direct variation, inverse variation, or neither. All right, now let me ask you again. If you multiply the two numbers together, and you always get the same number, it's what? Inverse. If you divide the two numbers, and you always get the same number, it's Correct. And if you don't get either of those, it's going to be neither. Okay, so look at A. How much is 1 times 4? 2 times 5, 10. 3 times 6, 18. 4 times 7, 28. Okay, do those always equal the same number? No, they don't. Okay, let's look at the other one. How much is 1 divided by 4? Yeah, 0.25. We'll do a decimal. 2 divided by 5? 0.4. 3 divided by 6? 0.5. You're getting the same number. What's the answer going to be here? Neither. You got it. That's a neither. A is a neither. You got it. Neither of those work out. Okay, let's go to B. 1 times 12. Okay, 12. 2 times 6. 3 times 4. 4 times 3. 12. Okay, what's that going to be? Inverse, right. When you multiply and you get the same number, it's inverse, variation. You got it. That's how easy this is. You got problems like this for homework. Okay, let's get to the next one. 1 times 3. 3. 2 times 6. 12. 3 times 9. 27. Oh, that's not working. 1 divided by 3. Yeah, or 1/3. Okay, 2 divided by 6. 1/3. 3 divided by 9. 1/3. 4 divided by 12. 1/3. So you're dividing. Okay, all right, so it's going to be direct. That's right. Direct variation is the answer. You got it. That's it.